One man marries a woman. Another man marries trouble. Is it the same man?
Spice.
A lion cannot eat more than 2 donkeys. It will die a natural death because there is no ICU in the forest. In Kenya, it has become the situation that you cannot conduct 2 elections. In fact,
with the same IBC.
You can't.
I told you about this Indian friend of mine who was enjoying other Indians in the group. He wrote the word valve and told them, read it.
So how did he say it? I really want to know.
The valve. Kina Edna, it's you said the bees and the peas. Kila kitu mkapo mkisia kisema atasema opposite.
Opposed?
Ukisema yeye anasema opposite. Opposite. Ukisikiliza na mnaye unasikia opposite.
The Situation Room, Spice. The only way to start your day. 102.5 Spice FM. Kisumu.
All right, where are we this morning? Traffic is doing all kinds of things, all knotted up all over the place. James Gishiro, in and outbound, is crazy. Crossing over towards Waiaki Way, coming inbound on the Red Hill Link Road. Lower Kabete, going through towards Spring Valley, absolutely busy. All right, and then here's traffic that's coming in from Red Hill Road on the other side, touching on Limuru Road. Traffic is coming in from this other side of Limuru Road, the Village Market, United Nations Avenue, all the way through towards Muthaiga. Crazy. Also, in the city this morning, Kiambu Road, traffic is almost touching on the northern bypass, coming in from the Thika Superhighway, coming in heavy all the way from Githurai, and so that is going to be crazy. Also looking at traffic on Outer Ring, but look at Jogo Road going towards Landis, and then out towards Haile Selassie, inbound traffic from Gong Road, also coming in from Mombasa Road. It's absolute craziness, and it's going to get worse in the next couple of days, as we've been told that that part of Haile Selassie will be closed off for the completion of the pedestrian underpass. So we're going to keep out eyes open for that. Let's talk on Spice FM KE on X, hashtag the Situation Room.
If we just gloss over issues and hope that time heals, then we might find that in generations to come, we might be back at the same situation. And the whole thing is born of stolen elections.
Spice.
When it comes to the decisions you make, you must be independent. There's no way you can allow one institution to dictate to you how you're going to conduct your operations, how you're going to decide cases. It's a no.
When you weaken the institution to the point where they cannot take action, then you realize that politicians have to come up and now start dealing with the issues.
That conversation has to die. Our politicians do not like the hard stuff. We must insist on the path of doing things right, whether popular or unpopular.
Money changes hands. That is a fact. If you have political goodwill at the highest top, like in Rwanda, then corruption will be an issue of the past. If you don't have political goodwill at the top, we will pass laws, we will amend laws, we will continue passing laws and re-amending laws, and nothing will happen.
This is the Situation Room. The only way to start your day. This is the Situation Room, the home of hard-hitting political commentary and penetrating insights about the state of the nation. This is a talk radio experience like no other. The Situation Room, a place for hard truths, debates, and elevated conversations. The Situation Room, witty, political, engaging, deep, controversial. In the room, we have C.T. Muga, researcher, academic, seasoned political observer, a fountain of wisdom in these politically uncertain times. Ndu Oko, Nigerian by birth, Kenyan by choice, communications expert, Pan-Africanist, a truth seeker and believer in people power, and Eric Latin, agent provocateur, the man in the chair, seasoned journalist, news hound, a man who believes in punching up, not down. This is the Situation Room, the only way to start your day.
Merry Christmas. Looking forward to a happy new year. It's the 25th of November and we are already into that season of going into the new year, into Christmas, into everything. And it's also the season for people are at home, the children are at home.
Yes.
People are already starting to panga their leave. There are offices that are happy and they're lucky that they closed you from the 10th of December we closed. So what will you be doing at home? or wherever you'll be. If you're traveling, if you're going to shags, if you're going somewhere visiting, and you're thinking of entertainment, and your whole family wants entertainment, and before it used to be, now we are out of home, so because we don't have a TV, so we can't watch. My friend. Nowadays, wherever you are, as long as you have a smartphone, you can watch and you can walk around with your entertainment. And that's why Showmax is like, festive season is here. Worry not. Worry not. From your mobile device, you can catch all the best programming available on Showmax.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
For as little as 300 shillings. Really depends on which package you pick. But imagine 300 shillings and you can tune in. You can start to watch the likes of a particular program called Foreplay. It's a drama series that follows 4 men who find friendship, love, and perseverance in Nairobi's concrete jungle. Did you know Nairobi is a concrete jungle? Well, there are things that you can also find out about things that go on in Nairobi that you didn't know about if you just log in, or, you had your subscription, or you want to register, you can go ahead and do that. It's Shika Showmax, or rather Shika Nash Showmax today. Log on, pay, watch.
Like that. And you're saying the new show is called what?
Foreplay.
Spell the word foreplay, please.
Four.
Okay.
Play. Are you good?
Oh.
Four, yani nne.
For nne.
Yeah.
Sawa.
Thank you very much. The 4 men and how they play in Nairobi's concrete jungle. A couple of episodes are already out. You can catch up on the rest. Log on today. Like I said, for as little as 300 shillings. And your entertainment for this period where it feels as though there's 72 days. Sorted.
You are completely sorted. Okay. So we've been talking about education and what's happening in the education sector. And there's a transition into CBC from 844. We already have people who started this thing at grade 3. They are now in grade 8. They're moving into... they're moving into grade 9.
Yep.
Yeah? And that is why now we call it a junior school. We stopped calling it the secondary thing.
Yes.
We now it's a comprehensive school. So now it's a junior school. There's one is a what? So the other one is what? The one below the junior school is primary.
It's primary.
So it's primary and then junior school and then senior school.
Yes.
So there's no secondary at all?
No.
They've just told you senior.
Okay.
Sorry.
What do you think secondary is?
They didn't even let us say goodbye properly.
Aujamaliza secondary? So aujamaliza senior?
No,
yes.
Senior school.
Then from senior you go to university.
Okay.
Or TVET.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, there's been this conversation about the quality of education that's offered in public schools and the quality of education offered in private schools. Let's talk about that, the gaps in this. We have two people who are experts on this education system, the CBC education system. Elphas Omunandi Chisienya is the administrator and curriculum development expert at Kitengela International Schools. And John Wanyonyi is the principal at the Kitengela International Junior School. John, Elphas, good morning.
Good morning.
Karibuni sana to Kenya's biggest conversation. Is Kitengela International School in Kitengela?
Yes, indeed, it's in Kitengela.
Okay.
However, we have other 2 branches along Mombasa Road.
Where on Mombasa Road?
Beijing Road at Syokimau, where we have the Kiss Syokimau branch. And the Athi River, the Great Wolves Garden, where we have another branch, the Kiss Athi River. Yes.
Now we start calling it KISS.
KISS, K-I-S-C.
Kitengela International School.
Yes.
And the C?
So the main branch is at Kitengela.
Okay. So we'll talk about that. We'll talk about the junior school. We'll talk about CBC and the transition. First, CT will give you the day's proverb. And today's proverb is from?
The Kingdom of Eswatini. Yes, formerly known as Swaziland.
Remind Walimu again, the people from Eswatini are called? The Eswatinians. What's the proper?
They're not called Eswatinians. Why don't we ask them if they know what they're called?
Walimu Wanyonyi, what do you call somebody, a national of Eswatini?
Pardon, please?
Somebody from Eswatini. Though you are Kenyan,
yes,
or Tanzanian,
or Ugandan.
If you're from Eswatini, you call you what?
I'm not quite sure. I don't know what to say. Yes, Swazilandian.
All right. At least you made an attempt.
Yes.
Elphas?
Maybe I'll go with the Swatini itself, but I'm not sure.
Okay, they are people called Emaswati. People. Yes. The person is called Liswati.
That's one person.
One, like you are Liswati.
Liswati.
Two of you are Emma.
Emma Swati.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the language?
Oh, the language is Siswati.
Siswati.
Yes. So like Kenyan, the language is Kenyanese.
Yes. That's a good challenge for today.
Yes.
Thank you.
Great one.
Okay.
Yeah.
The proverb.
The antelope that constantly moves, or no, let me stop paraphrasing and read what it actually says. The antelope that is constantly moving will fall into a pit.
The antelope that is constantly moving will fall into a pit. William Welfast, what do you say interpretation of this proverb?
I think it's directly linked to maybe another proverb that goes, a rolling stone possibly gathers no more, where that is my perspective, based on the fact that if you keep moving from maybe this place, maybe this job to this job, definitely you find that you are not gaining, you lose friends, you lose a lot in terms of accumulation, and at the end, you don't become stable. That's my perspective. Yeah.
It's an excellent perspective.
Very good one. Very good. Wanyonyi?
For me, I want to put it in a perspective that if you're in constant motion, of course, you'll end up somewhere. And for the antelope, the ultimate destination or the ultimate destiny possibly is running into being a pet. Yeah, so in life, once you're in constant motion, there's an ultimate destination that you'll have to learn to. So it just enlightens us to watch out our movements and our steps and be very careful.
Mbio za mbugani huishia shimoni. Mbio za swara huishia shimoni. Okay. So let's get an introduction into Kitengela International School. Mwalimu John Wanyonyi.
Thank you for this moment. I'm John Wanyonyi, the school principal for the junior school, as you said. Kitengela International School is a group of schools offering both the local curriculum and the international. And when we talk of the local curriculum, we have the competency-based curriculum that's running across all our schools. We still have also 844 Kitengela International Girls High School, which are just facing out. We have now 3 classes to go. We also have the British International Curriculum, where we offer the international curriculum from early years all the way to A levels. So that's briefly what Kitengela, the group of schools, entails. As I mentioned earlier, we have got the main school at Kitengela, where we host the 5 campuses. That's the primary section, the junior school, girls' school, and the British International Curriculum. Along Mombasa Road, I mentioned earlier, at Sukimau Beijing Road, we have KISK at the River, which runs purely the competent-based curriculum from early years to grade 8, now heading to grade 9. Then at KISK at the River, that's the Great Walls Garden. We also have CBC from early years to grade 8.
This Kitengela International Girls High School is purely 844?
That's purely 844.
So where does one get into the British curriculum one?
The British curriculum one is both day and mixed. And when you want to transit from the local curriculum to international curriculum, of course, you just have an entry examination where it will be placed accordingly. Yeah, so it depends on the ages and the levels, and also at a time you are joining. For example, now they're having their first term for the international curriculum. Yeah, so if somebody wishes to join the international curriculum from the 844, it will depend if they're in Form 1, they want to join maybe year 8, they'll be able to start from there. Form 2s, maybe it might start from year 9, depending on the entry behavior from the assessment exam they'll be given.
Okay.
Yes.
So what's the one you offer in the British curriculum called? Is it called the Kitengela International British Curriculum School?
It's just called Kitengela International School.
That's it?
That's it.
Okay.
We are under one umbrella.
I see.
Yes.
And all in that same complex in Kitengela.
Yes.
All right. So now we are seeing the transition from 844 into CBC. Among the things that we've talked about is, first of all, the challenges initially were have teachers been properly brought up to skill to deliver CBC? Have the schools had the proper facilities to deliver CBC? Do they have enough space for this? And so on and so forth. I want to come to you, Alphas, because you are an expert on the delivery of this curriculum. What does that mean, you being an expert at delivering of curriculum delivery?
Okay, being an expert in curriculum delivery basically means you interpret the curriculum in collaboration with KICD, and you train the teachers. You ensure that the teachers or the facilitators, we no longer use teachers currently, we use facilitators. And their main job, or your main job, is to ensure there is a proper acquisition of skills by the facilitators, by proper interpretation of the curriculum, and ensuring that they are able to use the proper pedagogies, the methodologies that are required by the KICD on the Ministry of Education. So that is the key role that I play there, to ensure that the teachers have the requisite skills that are required to implement the curriculum.
Did you go through training yourself or skilling yourself?
Yeah, my first training was in 2016, and I also did another one in 2018. And we have continuous trainings as an institution. I've gone to around 5 to 8 trainings on curriculum implementation under CBC. We have also assisted in also coming up with facilitation materials like textbooks, like the KLB. I aided a little bit from its beginning. That was in 2016, to come up with materials of English. And from there, I think I will say I really learned a lot about CBC, and I'm a champion of CBC. Yeah.
What's the difference then between CBC and 844?
Okay, as CBC as it goes, majorly it is competency-based curriculum. So this one goes with the abilities or the competencies a learner is having. So we measure on ensuring that we identify the competencies early. And like 844, we never went for competencies. We were like targeting just one element. How well can someone remember? And that was risky, because we may say some of individuals out here, their lives might not be the same if their talents or their competencies were identified in time and nurtured as the CBC is doing. And I think CBC is the way to go. Yeah.
So what is it about the CBC that enables you to understand the competencies that you say with the 844 system one could not understand, measure?
Okay, with CBC, the approach is different because first we understand that there is a fish, there is a lion, there is a grasshopper. All these are creatures, and they cannot compete on the same basis. Like a fish, you cannot put a fish in a field and a vehicle and Mr. Latif to have the same competition and win, because they can thrive in different environments. So based on that, we notice that learners also have different abilities in different environments. There is this learner who will never sit down and listen, but when you take them to the field, you will see them delivering or being able to play that game and score goals, and is happy because that is their passion. Unlike 844, it was like one band radio where it is just one way. You either you know it or you don't know it.
Okay, but how exactly does this work out? I mean, you have regular class sessions, don't you?
You do.
Are they still 40 minutes? Are they
35 for primary, 40 for junior school.
Okay, so what is it that you do to ensure that you can identify these competencies and then follow the pathways that you mentioned that the CBC offers?
Thank you. In the curriculum designs, or in the previous one, curriculum, they used to call it syllabuses. In the curriculum designs, we have what we call authentic tasks. Authentic tasks are like projects that are geared towards ensuring that learners realize their competencies, and they are done in levels. So you'll find in levels, there are authentic tasks that are given that go in line with the age of the learner or the level of the learner. And you will notice that in CBC, we have the aspect of inclusivity, where the learners who are perceived in the past that they were special, they weren't special because they just had a different way of viewing things. And in one way or another, I always say maybe they might be thinking we are the ones who are not, we are special. So to them, we just call them gifted differently. And you realize that with the authentic tasks, if that learner was having a challenge in getting the concept in class, that one of one-on-one, is able to execute an activity on a table and get it right, unlike the concept that was being given in class theoretically. So you notice, that is the way you will notice this learner is different from this one. Another one is we have so many activities, like in my school, Kitengela International School, we have so many clubs. We have a lot of activities that we engage our learners. We ensure that we adjust our timetable to ensure that we accommodate all the aspects of activities, so that all the learners, at least out of over 2,000 learners, one has a place to feel at home. And that one categorically puts us on a map, ensuring that CBC is well implemented and is the best way to go.
How then will the physical structures within a school setting accommodate this? Because so far we're discussing the mental preparedness of, I was about to say teachers, facilitators. We'll get back to that one. But so what is it about the physical structures that you have that then makes it possible to achieve? Because the goals of CBC are fairly lofty. Okay, you want to understand these competencies, whether a child is good at cooking onions, whether it is that they're good at running, whatever it is. What is it that the school will have that enables this to happen?
Yeah, thank you for that. We, as an institution, we have really ensured that we come up with the facilities that are required, the modern labs, the modern libraries, the modern swimming pools, modern pitches or fields, courts. And I've also checked the government schools, the public sector. They are doing great also. And the government is really pumping resources in ensuring that these learners have spaces that are really free. These learners are not just classroom based. They are out there in the pitches playing. They are out there doing projects. They are out there on the markets doing authentic tasks by the Kenya National Examination Council guides. And to me, I'll see that with the collaboration with the public sector, we have ensured that we invite them in our institution to check how this is done.
Sorry, can you give me some of these examples, some examples of some of these tasks that learners, for example, are doing outside of the classroom that's being facilitated by Ministry of Education, for example?
Okay, there is what we call community service learning. And under community service learning is an umbrella, which is very huge. And in this one, the Ministry of Education, together with the Kenya National Examination Council, will actually give a task in relation to maybe this year, there will be a theme, maybe cleaning the market. Or maybe this year, there will be a theme like visiting social places, to maybe to the hospitals and see and maybe pray to them or take resources to them or just encourage them to be strong. So these tasks are given with a guide by the Kenya National Examination Council, guided by the KICD and the Ministry of Education.
But they're carried out by the individual schools. So a class, for example, a class teacher will tell you that this week you're going to have an excursion to an agricultural farm or something like that.
Yes.
You also mentioned that the Ministry of Education is facilitating this, but I am imagining that we have quite a number of schools in the country, and we can look at it from a Kitengela International School perspective, where it's a private facility, but then there are public facilities in the country which unfortunately are not at the moment equipped with what they need. So if one school can go to an agricultural farm, for example, on excursion because they have a bus, there are other schools that cannot, because resources just don't allow. Yes?
Yeah.
How do we then say that we are creating a balance around the country to have one seamless line of education where we have such huge disparities between institutions?
Yeah, since the introduction of CBC, I'll say we have had a few challenges here and there. But I think the government is trying to put resources in ensuring what you are asking is implemented. So to go back to your question.
I'm sorry.
Okay, to go back to your question. Sorry on this one. Allow me to explain.
Please.
So to go back to your question, we may say disparities there. And remember, also in private sector, we have challenges because there was no budget that was just meant to improve these facilities. This is just, we didn't increase school fees to make these facilities there. It is that's something that we had to reinvest with the little that we had. Therefore, the government is also doing the same. It's just that maybe the officials on the ground or the people not giving their best. But I'll thank the government because I normally move in private schools, public schools, and you see that disparity is there. But what we always say, as the late Magoha used to quote, let us use locally available resources. So for that farm, we don't need to travel to Kiambu in a farm. Let's move to a nearby farm that is there, that's Kumawiki farm, and get the facts right. Let's move closer where we can actually access, and that is what makes the difference. So the moment the society understands that this is an inclusive kind of curriculum, it's not about the teacher and the learner, it's about the whole society, the parent, the three pillars, the parent, the school, and the learner. Therefore, I know that disparity is there, but the government, I know it is giving its best, based on the schools I have visited. We might have one or two that are extreme cases, like maybe there is a school in Turkana.
I think there are a little bit more than one or two extreme cases where there's a problem.
Maybe just to correct some wrong notion, you see both of you heading to. There's this wrong notion that private schools are well off in terms of implementation of the curriculum. The truth is, there's a balance. Not all private schools are capable to have that space.
Absolutely, yeah.
Now, when you talk of Kitengela International School, don't just imagine that all private schools are like that. And ironically, public schools have got better resources to implement the authentic tasks because they have got free government land for that particular school. As opposed to many private schools which are
you have nothing.
They have nothing. They have no land. They are so squeezed. Then now, when you talk of maybe accessing some agricultural shows or agricultural projects, every region and every county has got an agricultural show, well developed, where public school children are given free access. They don't pay anything. Secondly, that land, they are free to partition it and do all the practicals that are given and all the tasks. So basically, when you look at what the government has done even in digital literacy, in the integration of the ICT, shockingly, over 80% of public schools, both primary and secondary, have got electricity. At least they can access a computer. So maybe something we can say they are still struggling with is access to internet. But as we speak, generally, the government has invested heavily in those public schools. And remember, they are being facilitated by the government. As opposed to private schools like Kitengela International School, they have got to struggle to put up such a kind of a service. Because you can't ask parents to build for you or buy for you an extra land. So there is a balance, at least we can see. So we can't say that totally public schools are struggling completely, no. There's exceptionals that are in extreme. We also have the same in private sector, where we have got some private schools which are also struggling.
Which really struggle.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, the proprietors don't have much wiggle room.
Yeah, they don't
even
have much.
financially.
Yeah.
But they have to continue offering a service. 24 minutes to 9. Let's take a break. John Wanyonyi, Principal, Kitengela International Junior School, and Elphas Omunandi Chisienya, who is the administrator and curriculum development expert at the same Kitengela International Schools. We are talking about CBC transition, the gap between public and private, and that's a good way to start that conversation. I mean, where are we? We know when you talk about private schools, people talk about private schools from a top-end private school perspective.
Yeah.
And people talk about public school, then they talk about public school from the lower-end perspective. Yeah. But then there are those that have seriously good public schools, facilitated over the many years, and they are actually top level. And there are some seriously good private schools, and some others that are not seriously good private schools, where it's just a shack, like a small place that is just offering a service because this is what the community is looking for. Ndu, as we take this break, let's talk about the long Christmas break and the holiday season and entertainment, courtesy of Showmax.
What are you going to be doing this holiday? A lot of people are going to be holed up inside and saying, okay, well, it's been a long year of working and being in school. So what can you do? Your entertainment comes to your doorstep. Log on to www.showmax.com, sign up, register, pay, watch, and enjoy. So the two shows that you can take advantage of right now, they've actually premiered on Showmax. One of them is called Foreplay, and it talks about the lives of four gentlemen as they traverse relationships and friendships and business in Nairobi's concrete jungle. And the other one is called Black and Blue. It's actually really interesting to watch and see the intrigues that go on between police officers. It's different police stations around the city, and seeing how they, from a policeman's perspective, how they actually view life. These are airing on Showmax. A couple of episodes already shown. You can continue with that. Log on for as little as 300 shillings and have this entertainment literally at your fingertips, whether you're indoors or whether you're on the road. Shika na Showmax.
This is The Situation Room. The